Number 10, Doug. Have you ever wondered what a terrifying animatronic version of the dog from Pixar's Up would be like? Well, whether or not you have, here you go. That was the inspiration for this fan-made animatronic. I think one of the most frightening things about this one is the rectangular eye holes. There's just something so different about that, it just freaks me out. Like, the eye holes are rectangular, but the eyes are like an oval. And I'm like, that's so much extra space. Number 9, Torture Kitty. So although the fan-made game that Torture Kitty was meant to appear in was never finished, I still feel like she is so terrifying just in her texture alone that we need to talk about her. Her skin color looks almost like cork or Play-Doh, but it also kind of just reminds me of like ground up meat or somewhat molten flesh, just based on the pink pale color that it has. Her eyes look like their sockets were carved out, and her eyes themselves glow an intense orange. She wears a dark, shiny red hat and brandishes a gold-tipped cane, all the better to beat you with, likely, if you were to run into her in the actual game. Not that that'll ever happen. Number 8, Funtime Plaza Freddy. This fan-made version of Freddy is darker and is missing one eye, but it is also covered in glow-in-the-dark neon stars. Literally, they look like they're attached. In fact, it's really the glow-in-the-dark and sort of neon aspects that really made him so alarming to me. There's something about not being able to fully see, having limited visibility, but still being aware of something coming for you in the dark that always gets to me. The neon on this version just gives me those feels. It's like I know you're there, but I can't quite see you. Number 7, Chica fan art. So while we already have a withered Chica in the actual world of FNAF, who is pretty terrifying, there is also fan-made versions of her, who are even more frightening than her official withered self. One fan-made version of withered Chica had her arms gone from the shoulders down, as opposed to just her hands gone. She also has darkened eyes and no beak, with tiny teeth just visible in the dark hole that is her mouth. And there are countless other fan-made versions of Withered Chica that are even more terrifying than the original. Not to mention, there is a lot of suggestive artwork involving her, which is also just strange and terrifying to stumble upon. Not even like in a scary sense, just in a why does Chica have to be sexy sense? What's happening? People like her a little too much, I think, is what's going on. Number 6, Ghoul Balloon Boy. So while this version of Balloon Boy only appears briefly in the fan-made Return to Freddy's and is only a hallucination, he remains pretty terrifying looking. First of all, he looks worn down and somewhat dirty. He's missing an eye, and his mouth almost has like little stitch marks around it despite being completely open. So I don't know what's going on there. Was his mouth stitched and then he opened it and he just pulled through the stitches and oh, I just thought of something gross. Blah. From the tilt of his head to what appears to be a hammer in his bloody little hand, this Balloon Boy would even likely terrify the original Balloon Boy. Who would win in a BB off?
Halfway through at number 5, Gumball Swivel Hand. Gumball Swivel Hands is one of the FNAF 6 animatronics obtained at Stan's Budget Tech for $125 of in-game currency, obviously. Could you imagine if it was real money, like this game was just going to be one giant cash grab like any mobile game or EA game? Well, Gumball is literally what he sounds like, a gumball machine with a face and rotating hands, which gives it its name. He has a propeller hat and kinda looks like he just drank a gallon of paint. His chest is a gumball dispenser and his head is a bowl full of gumballs colored red, green, blue, purple, yellow, and orange. And from the looks, pink, but it's not listed on the wiki, so that could just be the light reflecting off the animatronic. I'm not entirely sure. I saw pink. I could just be going crazy. Other than the dispenser and the head and arms, Gumball doesn't really have much of a body, only being supported by a pole like any other gumball dispenser. Talk about having a pole up your ass, am I right? And at 4, Shamrock Freddy. Being Irish, I do have a special place in my heart for Shamrock Freddy. He'll never come after me, Lucky Charms. Shamrock Freddy is a skin for the Freddy animatronic that appears in FNAF AR Special Delivery and was added on March 12, 2020 in time for the St. Patty's Day of the worst year ever. His appearance is fairly similar to that of regular Freddy, except being colored entirely green, as you can see here. Oh wait, that's awkward. Forgot I was on a green screen. Well, I guess you'll just have to imagine it. Unless the editor decided to put a picture of it to make me look ridiculous while saying this. The only difference about him and normal Freddy is the color, basically. But why would he be tasty, you say, with the confused look on your face? Well, Shamrock Shake. Duh. I've never actually had a Shamrock Shake because up until like this year I always forgot about it, but hey, everyone who has had it tells me it's delicious and hopefully they're not joking, otherwise I'm going to look even more ridiculous in this number. And at 3, the Cupcake. Do I really need to say anything here? The cupcake is its own animatronic, which I am correcting from a long time ago in a list about scariest animatronics or something like that, I don't know. We do plenty of FNAF videos because the FNAF videos do better than anything else on the channel. Like, we know we milk it, but they keep doing well, so we're gonna keep making more. But if you can't get enough of FNAF and love the series as much as us, click up in the top right corner because we have a playlist of almost 90 videos now. It's nuts. Over 13 hours of FNAF content for you to enjoy. But the cupcake animatronic is literally the only pure food item from any of the main FNAF games. It's literally a cupcake. Yes, it would technically in a way be sentient since it hops around the room in FNAF VR while repairing Chica, but you know what? The sentience makes it better. Make it more personal. I want to hear the cupcake scream as I devour its interior and delicious and sticky icing. Damn, this is really good lemonade. Yo, Lemonade Clown, what's up? And at 2, Chocolate Bonnie. Chocolate Bonnie is kinda like an issue for me if I'm being honest. I'll lick the icing off a cupcake and hear it scream as I close my jaw around its face, but I would get a Chocolate Bunny every year for Easter and whenever I could get one for myself. Specifically, the Mr. Munchie that had the Rice Krispie-like things in it. Not sponsored, but I wish it was. And those rice-filled chocolate bunnies were some of the best memories I have. I love how some of my best memories I have from childhood are about eating chocolate bunnies. Says a lot, eh? Well, no matter, this kind of presents a crossroads. The chocolate bunny is an Easter skin for Bonnie from FNAF AR, but it's like, why does this thing need to be a thing? It's clearly chocolate because we don't see any of the robotic parts inside when looking in the hole on its side, but is it just chocolate? Could I pull a Scooby-Doo and eat my way out of this thing if it catches me and shoves it into its stomach? Does it have a stomach, or like the animatronic equivalent of one? I don't know anymore. It would still be tasty. Is it milk or dark chocolate? Finally, in at number 1, Toy Chica. Hey, mommy! Do I really need to say anything more? Rule 34, baby!
Number 10. Lolbit. I think the question becomes, why does Lolbit really exist? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Lolbit, but they are kind of just a strange twist or variation on Foxy. Lolbit first appeared as an animatronic in Sister Location and is a recolored and female version of Foxy. Foxy with no hook hand and with lipstick. For us to understand why Lolbit was created, we would need to look at a clear and precise timeline to get an idea. Clear and precise timeline. Okay, so without that, we can theorize based on what we know that Lolbit probably came after the original Freddy, as Circus Baby's Pizza World was kind of a rebrand for the franchise, but also maybe was open while it was open. It's confusing. If Lolbit was a part of that crew and not made after Pizza World, just as a part of entertainment and rental, that is of course if Lolbit was made at the same time as all the Circus Baby's animatronics, and not just as a part of entertainment and rental. So, Lolbit was potentially made to be a less scary version of Foxy. No hook hand, no pirate theme, just a cute but still terrifying fox. But really the weirdest thing here is we don't really know if that is true, because we don't really know like 100% confirmed much of anything when it comes to timing or lore in the FNAF franchise. So just why Lolbit? Number 9. Lefty. Lefty is weird because it isn't really an animatronic of its own, but merely a storage device for the puppet. Lefty's name is also a sort of acronym in terms of what they were designed for, so don't be fooled by their rock star appearance. Lefty's name is actually an acronym that goes LEFTE, but of course they are called and often referred to as Lefty instead because they hold their microphone in their left hand, implying that they themselves are a left-handed animatronic. Lefty stands for Lure, Encapsulate, Fuse, Transport, and Extract, revealing the meaning behind the name for this animatronic, and its purpose is actually much more sinister than you'd think just by looking at them. Lefty is also missing their left eye, but otherwise appears to be in pretty great shape, which is also kinda odd. Number 8. Ennard. I mean, just Ennard's existence is kind of weird, isn't it? Ennard is a combination of the main Circus Baby's entertainment and rental animatronics all combined together, but who for some reason like to appear as a horrifying clown. I guess that is the Circus Baby coming out? Is she the one who picked that outfit? I don't know. Add in the fact that eventually Ennard ends up wearing the protagonist as a human skin suit so that it can escape, or even stranger, that it somehow escapes without that suit and yet tracks the protagonist down anyway. anyways, who we know as Eggs Benedict, but of course assume is Michael Afton. And yeah, Ennard is a pretty strange animatronic, both when it comes to story and appearance. Number 7, Jack-o'-lantern. Just like Carl, aka Mr. Cupcake, who came before him on part 1 of this list, Jack-o'-lantern is another animatronic pal of Chica's, or more specifically a pal of Jacko-Chica's, the Halloween-themed version of Chica, who herself looks like a horrifying and bright jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern is also believed to appear in the FNAF 3 Halloween update, as the appearance for them is very similar to the lantern that appears on our desk in that update. Jack-o'-lantern replaces Chica's Cupcake for this version of the character and looks identical to your run-of-the-mill Halloween pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. Nothing too crazy to see here, which strangely makes the companion even weirder, because it just looks so normal. Number 6. Clown Springtrap. The Dark Circus event in Special Delivery brought us all kinds of strange but thematic animatronics. One of those happened to be a reimagining of Springtrap that I never expected to see. Clown Springtrap. This version of Springtrap wasn't clowning around too much though, so don't worry if you thought a jolly clown seemed out of the murderous Springtrap's wheelhouse when it comes to looks. It is called the Dark Circus event after all, and so this version of the animatronic was more of a scary clown. Clown Springtrap wields a terrifying hammer, all the better to smash you with, and is done up in white paint and clown makeup. This clown is not what you think of when you normally think of a fun circus clown. Clown Springtrap also seemed to have a bunch of chipped and jagged teeth. Kinda reminds me of the very disturbing Twisty from American Horror Story. Let's go to the circus, I guess?
Number 5, hand unit. I don't really know what I'm doing with this list right now by including hand unit, but I guess what I find to be somewhat attractive about hand unit, if I had to pick, obviously 10 more animatronics that are considered hot, which is, yeah, what we're doing here, is that hand unit is somewhat aloof and mysterious. Also, the original voice for hand unit that we hear in Sister Location, I like it. Sometimes hand unit makes me laugh in Sister Location, and other times they make me really nervous. Mainly, I like the idea of having a romance with an all-powerful AI that can control life and death. I think that's kind of a cool, albeit, creepy idea. But hey, this is FNAF, so many of the things are both cool and creepy. It's a horror game. And one of the ways us FNAF fans deal with the absolute horror show of the lore and these games is by making our own headcanon about how animatronics, and by extension disembodied AI voices, which evidently is more what I'm talking about here, could even become dear friends over time who only want to protect us. I mean, I feel like having hand unit on my side would be really good, I'm just saying. This is a huge part of the reason why we are so willing to accept the protective and friendly nature of Glamrock Freddy and Security Breaches players. So I think it makes sense that in my mind I'm imagining a hand unit that's really sweet and nice and just wants to bring me flowers. Is there anything wrong with that? Probably, but I don't care, I want flowers. Flowers are nice. Number 4, Sun and Moon, also known as the daycare attendant. Sun and Moon are both separate personas of the same character who works in the daycare at Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. For some reason, there were a lot of people in the comments requesting that Sun and Moon be highlighted as a hot animatronic. And apparently, this is because a lot of people really like him. And honestly, I've even seen these two sides of the same coin be shipped together as well from trying to look up fan art of them, which is a weird concept to think about because aren't they the same person? So how can you ship them together? There's lots of art with them having a baby together and I'm just but how will that? Okay, sure, why not? Why not? If you like it, it's fine. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, I think it's cool. Number 3, Montgomery Gator. Montgomery Gator is a pretty muscular appearing animatronic, which I think is why some people find him to be hot. He also just has really cool sunglasses in my opinion. I used to have a pair of sunglasses very similar to his when I was a teenager, and I gotta say, I miss those sunglasses. They were super cool. I would perhaps try to become a little friendlier with Monty just for a chance at borrowing his sunglasses. Mine were orange though, and appropriately reminded me of a very glam rock-esque band I suppose, Kiss. Well, not straight up glam rock perhaps, but you know, definitely similar vibes. If you aren't familiar with Kiss, if that was before your time, you should definitely check them out. They are a mood for sure, and they're definitely people that I feel like would wear sunglasses like Monty does. If they haven't already, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like pictures of them with star sunglasses. Number 2, Ringmaster Foxy. Ringmaster Foxy is another one that is pretty feisty. I heard everyone's clamors in the comments of the part 1 in this video series. How could I forget Foxy, you asked me? Oh, to be honest, I never forget Foxy. I would say Foxy and Chica to this day remain my few favorite animatronics in the game. Although I will say everybody's take on Roxy is also making me really take another look at Roxy as well. Roxy maybe is really awesome. I have a little Foxy plush that was gifted to me that I cherish, and I'm still waiting for a Foxy FNAF shirt to pop up in some of my favorite fandom shops so that I can rep Foxy as well with my t-shirt collection. But I guess I've always thought of Foxy, I don't know, as my bestie, not necessarily a hottie, just like my BFF for life. Although, you know, pirates can definitely be hot. But what's hotter than a piratical version of Foxy? How about his Ringmaster version from Special Delivery? Honestly, the Special Delivery versions of animatronics don't get enough love on our channel. They're so creative, which is why I'm really happy to include Ringmaster Foxy with his whip hand on this list. What can I say? Whips are kinda great. They're kinda awful, obviously, but also kinda great. Number 1, Mermaid Chica. One of the weird things about Mermaid Chica was that I spotted her in Security Breach and then was so amazed and stunned by her existence that I forgot that she also existed originally in Help Wanted. That's just how good the art in Security Breach is for her though too. In Security Breach, I think we only see her via art that appears in the world, but I'm still here for the idea of all animatronics possessing their own mermaid or merman or merperson versions, or just, you know, like aquatic versions of them in general. I really like mermaids and aquatic themes, so I'm very much here for this. Mermaid Chica initially appeared, I believe, in Help Wanted, and instead of the classic double shell that most mermaids, such as Ariel, sport, she appears to wear one giant clamshell, I think it's a clamshell, as a top. As cute as Mermaid Chica is, I gotta say, if you think about what she is, it's pretty weird and even a little bit creepy. Part chicken, part fish. She's kind of like a weird animal hybrid mashup, but an animatronic. Also, if you had a real Mermaid Chica, how would she walk? Does she levitate? How does that work?
Number 10, Carl. Carl the Cupcake is Chica's own animatronic pal. Carl is of course a cupcake who typically sits on Chica's platter, but also has been known to roam around on his own from time to time. Carl has even gotten his own jump scare animation in a few games. In FNAF 4 and Help Wanted, you'll want to watch out for this crafty cupcake, as those are the games where they can also jump scare you. Carl's official name in the franchise is actually Mr. Cupcake, but the fandom have decided to grant Mr. Cupcake a first name, which is where Carl comes from. Carl Cupcake, Mr. Cupcake. So most of us like to refer to Mr. Cupcake as Carl instead. Number 9, JJ. I mean, I mostly just think JJ is weird because we never really talk about her, and while Balloon Boy, aka BB, is always popping up in conversation and in games, JJ seems to be more sidelined. She is the female counterpart to BB. Initially, she was referred to as Balloon Girl until her name JJ was finally revealed. In FNAF 2, where BB messes with your controls via your lights, JJ entering the office will mess with your door controls more specifically. So both are equally a nuisance to deal with if they manage to sneak in through the vents. JJ also has an identical laugh to BB, which I find pretty creepy, not gonna lie. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are enjoying this list and you want more FNAF lists, be sure to let us know by giving this video a thumbs up. Number 8, RWQFSFAXC, also referred to as Shadow Bonnie for short. Shadow Bonnie. Shadow Bonnie isn't the kind of animatronic that can jump scare you, but more acts as a mechanic in Ultimate Custom Night. Some say that Shadow Bonnie wants you to say their real name for some kind of insidious purpose, to awake demons maybe. He is the shadow version of Toy Bonnie, who first appeared in FNAF 2 as a hallucination. Not specifically an animatronic, I suppose, but definitely something that seems to have been born of an animatronic in some way. In Ultimate Custom Night, Shadow Bonnie serves as an antagonistic mechanic who brings brings with him 10 seconds of complete darkness to the office in which you reside, making it impossible for you to see the doors during that time. Number 7. Candy Cadet. Candy Cadet is one of the animatronics who appears in Pizzeria Simulator. This animatronic is a game that can be purchased and placed in your own pizzeria. Candy Cadet gives out candy and also tells stories. All of its stories involve 5 of something, usually being combined together, and all of its stories are also pretty dark and generally end in death. Basically, this is not really the kind of game that you would want to encounter at a kid's pizza party place, which is what makes it so disturbing and strange. Though definitely not too strange for the world of FNAF. In these spooky games, it still manages to fit right in, of course. But in a real world context, I feel like most adults would not want Candy Cadet telling stories and dispensing candy at their kid's pizza party. Number 6. Mini-Rena. The Mini-Renas are a group of smaller animatronics who usually accompany and assist Ballora, sometimes seemingly working against her as well. They are a mischievous bunch of animatronics who enjoy crawling in and around their victims. Ugh. The strange thing about Mini-Renas is not just their disturbing desire to climb inside of other people and animatronics, but also their design. While Ballora appears as a beautiful humanoid-looking ballet dancer, the Mini-Renas look like creepy, half-finished marionettes. Every story or game they show up in makes them seem even more terrifying than the last.
Number 5. Toy Chica. Obviously, Chica is just one of the hottest animatronics out there. I don't think any of us are going to debate this. If you do want to debate this, meet me in the comments, let's have a debate. But among the different types of Chica animatronics, Toy Chica is considered to be one of the hottest ones out there. It could have to do with her very scantily clad appearance, with her she's wearing just like her little, it's like a bib basically, and like little, basically underwear. Or perhaps it's thanks to her ability to, remove her beak. I personally think Chica being able to remove her beak is really creepy, but I could see how other people might feel differently about it, because, some people don't find a beak, I guess, hot. I don't know. Toy Chica is also generally depicted as being curvier than most models of the animatronic, and has a focus on her eyes when it comes to fan art versions of the character. This is where it gets a little weird. The really weird thing is that this can extend to not just her big blue eye version with her beak and her eyelashes attached, but her other non-beak, pinprick white light eye version, where she appears to actually kind of be missing her eyes and only have 2 little bright white lights peering out of her eye sockets. So I guess some people also find the creepy vibes hot when it comes to Toy Chica, which, okay, I see you. You're seen. Number 4. Roxanne Wolf. Roxanne Wolf is one of the newest animatronics, which is why I'm also a little bit surprised that she would be included on this list. But yet, we cannot deny how much love there is out there for Roxy, and I love that. I love that we have gotten new animatronics in Security Breach via Montgomery Gator and Roxanne Wolf, and the people have just completely embraced them and kind of fallen in love with them. I think that's really cool. Roxy comes across initially in the game as being all about herself, but later on we learn that there might be more to her after she becomes shattered, and she expresses great distress concerning that if she isn't beautiful any longer, people won't love her anymore. Oh, there's an amazing sense of connection I think people feel with Roxy that doesn't quite exist with any other animatronics we've seen this far for that reason. I think it's a combo of her punk rock vibes and her complex personality that makes her attractive to fans. Also, she got that hair. Her hair is very glamorous. It's very glam rockerous. Number 3. Ballora. I don't know what it is with people in Ballora, but there are a lot of folks out there who are seemingly obsessed with her. It must be that, severe waist to hip ratio that she got going on. She got very hourglass proportions, I feel. And perhaps her sense of grace, which lends to her, dare I say, beauty. Ballora is also quite feminine, which probably adds to people adoring her both in appearance and in terms of her behavior. Although she can still jump scare you in Sister Location, she's also a lot more timid or reserved, at least outwardly. She can sing and dance, so her talents are another reason people likely find her attractive, and her purple eyes, although we never really quite get to see them. Well, that is unless you're getting jump scared, but I'm not sure if people are here for that. I guess if you find scary things sexy, then you might be into that. Myself personally, not so much. Number 2. Glamrock Freddy. Glamrock Freddy is weirdly attractive. He's super tall, seemingly buff, who also stands as a father figure to Gregory. He's kind, he's compassionate, sweet, and genuine. Plus, he's also a rock star, being one of the glam rock animatronics and their lead singer. What is there not to like there? For some reason, people also love to draw him looking like super jacked. He's not only drawn to look buff though, he's also often drawn to look super handsome, usually sporting a chiseled jaw in fan art and a sweet, sometimes shy or playful expression. It makes sense that we'd think Glamrock Freddy is attractive though. He is designed to act as our pal, our friend, and our protector in security breach. And for that reason, it makes sense that people would see him in a more attractive light, because he's kind of playing an attractive role there. There is also a lot of fan art with him winking and like offering congratulations, saying, "Way to go, superstar," a line of encouragement from the game that he's become pretty famous for, and even in some cases memeable for. Number 1, Glamrock Chica. Glamrock Chica is definitely one of my favorite animatronics when it comes to the hottest one. That feels really weird to say. Glamrock Chica just seems like she usually has a fun-loving attitude. I mean, even when she's chasing after you and is horrifying, she still kind of seems like fun to me. Like, I don't know, I might not mind being caught by Glamrock Chica. Well, you know, except for the whole like jump scare part, and she probably is gonna like, you know, kill you part. This version of Chica seems to also love pizza, and I feel like she and I could both bond over that. I also really love pizza. The Glamrock animatronics also all come with some of the best designs in regards to their looks. So, hey, that's also a bonus. So, if y'all couldn't guess the one animatronic that inspired this list, it was Glamrock Freddy. With this fan art by Amon S, in particular being the one that triggered us to make it. So, I guess thank you for that, Ominous. Oh my gosh. Abs.
And at 10, Chica. Stop. Don't even think about it. This isn't a weird Rule 34 thing. This is legitimately because Chica is a chicken, and chicken is delicious. Sorry, PETA. Even if she isn't a real chicken, the character is still meant to be a chicken, so by proxy, chicken would taste normal, right? At least in the dimension where the character originates from. If we subscribe to the many worlds theory, much how like you should subscribe to the channel, what a segue, but there is a universe out there where the animatronics that we know from the FNAF franchise are real-life organic beings set on the destruction of humans. And there's another where we all live peacefully. There is also a universe where William Afton is real and I'm the one fighting him. No matter what, Chica is a chicken, and no matter what you say or want to interpret it with your fan art, there is nothing that can change the fact that she is literally a chicken. Her name is Chica the chicken. It's chicken, chicken is good. For the most part. And at 9, Ballora. Okay, there is no real safe way to say this, so I might as well go all in. Cannibalism is a real thing that people partake in. It's not a thing made up for video games, movies, or TV. People do it. We know that. There are famous serial killers that have famously eaten bits of human flesh. And if Ballora was real, cannibals would enjoy a nice home-cooked meal. On the other hand, and this applies to all of the animatronics, people eat metal. There is one man, known as Mr. Eats All, who literally would eat anything. Somehow he was able to eat nuts, bolts, screws, light bulbs, an entire plane. Not joking, okay? This dude was a powerhouse. He literally brings his own things to restaurants so that they could add it to his plate. He ate a plane, he would eat bikes, he will finish his wine and then eat the glass no problem. He would have a field day when it comes to Ballora. This guy had eaten 18 bikes, 15 shopping carts, 7 TVs, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds and a pair of skis, a coffin, steel chain, and a partridge in a pear tree. But he can't eat bananas because it will give him heartburn. Literally. Unfortunately, Michel Lotito died at the age of 57 of natural causes. Yeah, this guy ate metal and glass for 41 years and died of natural causes. This list is dedicated to you, my man. And it ain't Bonnie. Bonnie is a rabbit, because bunnies and rabbits are the same thing, so don't flip your crap in the comments. Anyway, rabbits, while not being as common as chicken, they're still regularly eaten as dinner, on a less regular basis no doubt, but honestly I've had days where my girlfriend has brought home rabbit that she cooked in class. The taste is nearly the same to me, but I don't have that advanced of a palate, but it's literally meat, okay? Food is food, no matter what. Rabbit, while slightly gamier, is also as common as chicken. It's honestly weird that 50% of the original animatronics were actually regularly eaten, almost as if Scott intended for us to make this list. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't eat a purple rabbit, but I mean, if it was necessary and I was going to starve to death, I would honestly not think twice. Especially if we're in that universe where the animatronics are real organic beings instead of animatronics. I'm speaking about if these animatronics were real and not just the way they are with the robot parts and everything. Except for number 6. I said number, whatever. And at 7, Dreadbear. This idea actually comes from the VR YouTuber Eddie VR. Amanda and I have mentioned him before, and honestly I love his videos. However, he makes all the FNAF stands mad by giving nicknames to the animatronics, like how I make them mad when I tell them that Springtrap isn't an animatronic because he's not. He calls multiple characters by food equivalents. For example, Mangle is mangoes, Chica is Kentucky, Springtrap is tortillas, and Plushtrap is Tortilla's son. He also calls Dreadbear elotes, which is Spanish for corn, because honestly, have you seen Dreadbear's teeth? They look like they're straight up a fresh cob of corn. Like, he went through the Foxy maze and just started picking up corn and shoving it down his metal interior until eventually he became a corn. It's weird, and honestly, knowing that it's his teeth kinda makes it less appetizing, but that's why he's at number 7, right? Like, I can't explain why he's higher than Bonnie, because Bonnie would actually be food. Don't come for me, PETA. But I can't explain why he's higher than Chica, you know? Because I had to get you to stay somehow. If you see number 10 and it's not something that will kind of make you open your jaw with either excitement, surprise, or lust, then you aren't gonna stick around for something as ridiculous as this list. I had to put Chica first, but I don't know why he's higher than Bonnie. And at 6, Drink Clowns. Lemonade Clown and Fruit Punch Clown make their appearance in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, also known as FNAF 6. The clowns are basically giant bulbs of their respective drink, and they disperse these drinks with like any drink machine would, but this time it's coming from their body instead of some tank that nobody can see. It's slightly terrifying when you think about it, but it also makes some of the most sense on this list. The others may be iffy, but this one is pretty damn solid. Well, I guess technically it's a liquid, so I shouldn't be joking about that. It's a very important matter. Haha! Look at me go with my terrible jokes and horrifying sense of humor. Oh, you weren't laughing? Why the hell not? We're talking about clowns, aren't we? Clowns are funny and not scary in the slightest. I mean, I see a clown every time I go back to my hometown. And no, I don't mean because most people in that town are jokes. Oh boy, that got aggressive. I wonder what could have done that to me. This lemonade is great, by the way. Thanks, Lemonade Clown.
Number 5, Helper the Bird. Obsolete is a fan-made FNAF spin-on game. Also, I gotta say, design-wise, it's pretty looking. I mean, as far as horror survivals go. It's pretty. The animatronics featured in this game are original. One of them is known as Helper the Bird. Instead of the game taking place at Freddy's Pizzeria, the game actually takes place at a different family restaurant featuring animatronics known as Stumpy's Playhouse. Wow, what a name. When Helper's eyes turn from green to red, the terrifying bird who hides somewhat in the shadows in the corner of the room will attack you. You play a terrifying game of hide and seek with Helper and the other animatronics at the restaurant. You also get to play a little mini game in it. Number 4, Scrap Ballora. This fan-made version of Ballora reimagines her with 3 spindly metallic legs, almost like a spider. Her hands are reimagined as claws with razor-sharp nails attached, and her face looks as if it has melted or rusted away somewhat. She appears to also be used as a pin cushion, with big pins sticking out of her shoulders and head. But for some reason, the thing I find most disturbing about this design is her almost lack of a nose. She has just this really small, smooshed-looking nose that just creeps me out. Why are we as humans so freaked out by a lack of nose on a face? Why does that make weird things happen in my brain? I don't know, but there is a tipping point from just really cute, like small noses to just plain out creepiness when something is too small on your face. The other scary thing about Ballora is how much artwork there is focusing on making her look sexy. Why is there so much artwork about this, guys? What is happening? People always wanting to try. I get wanting to make the animatronics look cute, but there's a line. People are crossing it. Number 3, Freak Show Ballora. So, what could be more scary than Ballora with multiple metallic sharp legs? How about a Ballora with multiple arms? This version of Freak Show Ballora combines multiple arms that end in claw-like wiry hands with an overall withered look, including a particularly disturbing withered mouth, to give you a nightmarish sight. Seriously though, this version of Ballora looks so worn down and almost Insight-like, ain't nobody can make this version of her look sexy. To any designers that are watching, that's not a challenge, by the way. Please do not send me links to artwork of a Freak Show Ballora that looks sexy. I don't need it. But also if you have it, I will click it, I'm not gonna lie. Number 2, Scrap Bonnie. So there are a few different fan-made versions of Scrap Bonnie, but this one is by far one of the most terrifying. This fan-made Scrap Bonnie imagines the animatronic armed with an axe that replaces its right arm. It has bright purple eyes, a hole in its chest that reveals a glowing endoskeleton, and exposed wire on its left arm that looks as though it has metal claws. Not a version of Bonnie that seems very family-friendly. This Bonnie would likely be resorted to staying in the dark and backstage, only coming out at night to try and, I guess, chop up the player and stuff them in a suit with its axe arm? Yikes. Some of these designs I'm always like, would this be for a family restaurant though? Like, why did this get made? Number 1, Withered Puppet. Okay, so Puppet has always been the most terrifying animatronic to me. And this version, well, it really just kills me. It takes it to a whole other level. And I mean, if I ever met this version of Puppet, I'm sure that it would actually kill me too, because it's terrifying. This is a withered version we have yet to see in the games. The puppet's face is all torn, and its body looks as though it has been somewhat grinded up, with lots of wires sticking out of it. The teeth in its mouth I find equally disturbing. Its wires also seem to be red and blue, unless that's just the lighting, but it still seems to be holding on to a few buttons on its chest somehow, despite having no external skin really on its waist. Just a bunch of exposed wire. Don't look at me. Don't look at me, Puppet. Ah! Thank you so much for watching. I hope these animatronics won't keep you up at night like they probably will me. Looking at too many fan-made versions of the puppet, it will mess you up, let me tell you. Don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Number 10, Captain Foxy. I mean, what is better than regular Foxy? Definitely a more decorated version of everyone's favorite pirate animatronic. That's right, we're talking about Captain Foxy from the Curse of the Dreadbear expansion for the FNAF virtual reality game, Help Wanted. I also really love Foxy's coat here. I feel like actually a lot of my choices for this list are going to be based on fashion, but hey, part of what makes an animatronic or a person I think hot is their sense of style. And pirate style is already something I'm super here for. I love pirates. So the added bonus of this piratey hat and coat with epaulettes on it only heightens the appearance of Foxy here. Epaulettes, by the way, are the name for what some might see as kind of like fancy shoulder pads on coats. They're actually used to symbolize a person's rank in the military, so either Captain Foxy is higher in rank than normal Foxy, or he stole this coat from someone that was a higher rank and who was, you know, working on the seas. That's probably more likely because pirate, so yeah. Epaulettes, when made from metal, can also be referred to as shoulder scales, FYI. I love that term, shoulder scales. Makes you sound like you're a cool dragon. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Gaming and you love all of our FNAF content, why not subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything new we're putting out? I know some of you don't subscribe, so please subscribe. Do it. Number 9, Toy Freddy. I thought it was only fair that Toy Freddy got some love on this list, considering that so many of the toy animatronics were highlighted on the part 1, and only one other version of Freddy made that other cut as well. I know Freddy isn't often thought of as like the hottest or even like the most favorite animatronic of the bunch, which I think is kinda sad, considering he is the main mascot generally of Fazbear establishments. Toy Freddy has a cute and shiny look to him. One of my favorite things about the toy animatronics in general is the shine on them and their colored cheeks. Like they're wearing blush. Toy Freddy also sports a black bow tie and top hat with a red rim, making him look quite dapper, I gotta say. Number 8, Happy Frog. I like when people are happy. Honestly, I think that can be a hot quality. Not that you can't, you know, be hot and also be sad, because that also happens a lot. And I also like the color of Happy Frog's purple eyes myself. I've always liked the color purple, and honestly, I actually wanted to have purple eyes myself when I was a kid, although I'm not sure if that's actually a thing you can be born with. I always dreamed like maybe my eyes will change color and I'll have purple eyes. I know there are people who have been rumored to have purple eyes and claim that they have purple eyes, but I don't think that's actually a natural color that exists genetically. But let me know if I'm wrong about that. I also acknowledge that with Happy Frog's eyes technically being the color of magenta, some actually might see them as more pink than purple, but I guess that really depends on how you individually see color and, you know, also the color settings that are on your monitor. Happy Frog is one of the animatronics to appear in the mediocre melodies 1990s, she first appeared alongside her fellow bandmates in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. Number 7, Mr. Hippo. Speaking of the mediocre melodies, I don't know, friends. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty really with this list in terms of animatronics that I have left to talk about, that one could consider as hot. So here we go with Mr. Hippo. I think for Mr. Hippo, I just really love his little hat and his purple coloring. Like I said, I really love the color purple. Also, why can't Hippo animatronics be hot? Why is that not a thing? In terms of animatronics that are falling apart or run down, the Mediocre Melodies group actually has a lot of animatronics who are in good shape by comparison to such groups as, let's say, the Nightmare animatronics. Mr. Hippo also has a flower on his chest, so that with his little black top hat makes him look dapper. And I don't know, I like an animatronic that looks dapper. I think that's hot, looking dapper. Number 6, Lolbit. Whether you are imagining Lolbit as male, female, or their standard they themselves, it seems that you might find them attractive. At least that's what the internet seems to be claiming. If you don't believe me on this one, just look up some attractive fan art of Lolbit. It is out there. There's a lot of it. You might be surprised, or maybe not if you're already a big fan, that there is already just a lot of that kind of fan art out there. I find this especially surprising since while I know a lot of people do love Lolbit, which I respect, they're still considered to be a pretty minor character and in many cases are generally only shown as like a disembodied head, I think. But hey, maybe people just really love the coloring, or are here for Lolbit's, I don't know, their glowing personality? If you're a major Lolbit fan, maybe you can enlighten us on the attractiveness of this animatronic in the comments, and why you personally like them.
Number 5, Amalgamation. Talk about weird and twisted versions of the animatronics blended together, a theme that seems to pop up in every corner of the FNAF franchise. For this animatronic, we need to turn to the novel trilogy for FNAF. Not to be confused with the Fazbear Frights books, which are a separate book series and kind of more of an anthology than a connected and continuous narrative like the trilogy is. In the third and final book in that trilogy, we meet that amalgamation, which is helping to keep William Afton alive and is a melted down, welded together mass of all of the original animatronics combined. Freddy, Golden Freddy, Chica, Foxy, and of course, Bonnie. Even more horrifying and bizarre, the amalgamation is not described as being remotely recognizable as these animatronics. Instead, its form appears as a lump of burnt and hot metal with clumps of wires and like metal tubing sticking out, visible here and there. Number 4, Melted Chocolate Bonnie. As though it wasn't odd enough that we got Chocolate Bonnie last year for Easter in special delivery, the FNAF AR game, this year we got an even stranger Easter version of everyone's favorite bunny animatronic, Melted Chocolate Bunny. I love this version because to me it implies that real chocolate was used in the creation of the version we saw last year. Either that or Fazbear's thought a melted version would be fun. So fun. I'm not sure which potential explanation I like better here for this gloriously strange and disturbing exclusive holiday animatronic skin. I hope all you special delivery fans had fun with this horror show over the Easter holidays. Let me know in the comments if you happen to run into a melted chocolate Bonnie animatronic. Is it weird that I also now want chocolate after talking about this? I know it looks really scary, that animatronic, but I'm just like, I could go for a chocolate bunny or a chocolate Bonnie. Number 3, Paper Pals. I mean, yeah, these are just paper plate creatures come to life, I guess. They aren't even really animatronics so much as just sentient paper plate, well, pals. Initially, the Paper Pals appeared in FNAF World. Each one is thought to represent a main antagonist from FNAF 2. Each one is thought to represent an antagonist from the franchise. There is a paper plate version of Freddy, a paper plate version of Bonnie, and what people believe to be a paper plate version of Balloon Boy, although that one's a little hard to tell, to be honest. And I mean, Balloon Boy is already a weird animatronic on their own because they're not even an animatronic themselves, but more of like a ceramic statue, I think, that comes to life. So yeah, a paper plate version of them that can move around on its own is pretty out there as far as concepts go for animatronics in the FNAF universe. Even though I know that FNAF World, I don't think we actually consider that to be canon, but I just wanted to talk about some cool paper plates So please don't blame me. I like the paper pals. They're weird and lovely. They're just so low key. That's what I like. Just a paper plate with some little limbs. Number 2, Music Man. You'd think Music Man wouldn't mind loud sounds. After all, he is a music man who admittedly looks less like a man and more like some creepy humanoid spider combo thing, but who also carries around cymbals. You know what makes a lot of noise? Cymbals. But maybe it's just that only he is allowed to make the noise or music, according to his rules. And he is not a fan of competition when it comes to making noise or making sounds. Either way, in Pizzeria Simulator, Music Man becomes active throughout the night if you make too much noise doing your tasks in the office. So if you want to avoid running into this horrifying weirdo, be sure to keep the noise down. Although, always just a good idea to do that in Pizzeria Simulator, because any noise, you're gonna have some enemies approaching you. Number 1, Fruit Punch Clown. On part 1 of this list, we talked about another vendor bot animatronic available to you in FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator. Now it's time to continue on and talk about another strange vendor bot animatronic. Following the theme of how clowns can be weird and creepy, we have Fruit Punch Clown. Fruit Punch Clown is a fruit punch container and dispenser. Not only does this clown look extremely creepy with its over-exaggerated, gleeful expression, but every now and then it also says some pretty creepy stuff too. In his own minigame, the goal is to startle as many children as possible with his fruit punch alarm, which is already pretty strange, but there is also a small chance that after surprising the children, he might utter a sinister phrase. Tell anyone about this, and I'll cut your throat. Oh my. That is not a friendly phrase. What is your favorite animatronic? Which do you think is the weirdest animatronic? And do you love weird FNAF animatronics as much as we do? I personally love lots of little weirdos running around. Give me all the weirdos. I am a weirdo, so I feel like I connect with those animatronics. I'm not a weirdo as much in terms of the fruit punch clown, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely identify with some of these strange folks. If I were a weird animatronic, which one would I be?
Number 10, Rockstar Chica. Something about those maracas, I suppose. For some reason, Rockstar Chica is a fan favorite when it comes to attractive animatronics. And there are a lot of people who have created fan art of her, imagining her as a cute blonde anime rocker girl, which is an interpretation of her look. Still, I think this version of Chica is one of the most odd in terms of people finding her hot, but there are people out there that do, so hey, no judgment. I've seen the fan art, I have the proof. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving what we are doing here at Top 10 Gaming, please go check out our newest channel, Most Amazing Top 10 Anime. Click that subscribe button. Do it! Number 9, Mangle. I didn't believe that Mangle could be sexy, to be honest. I had heard the rumblings, and I wanted to be able to deny that they were true. But then I looked up Mangle FNAF sexy. Do that at your own peril, because you will definitely find some very weird, very sexy things. I don't know how I feel about them. Personally, I think I feel uncomfortable. But there are people that really love Mangle out there, perhaps a little bit too much. When it comes to Mangle, I feel like the makeup is a big selling point for fans. That and the idea perhaps that Mangle is an interactive animatronic. I'm going to let you interpret that as you will, but I'm mainly talking about the fact that Mangle was disassembled and reassembled seemingly for fun. Pink is also just a color that I feel a lot of people like. It can be very feminine and very flirty, and this definitely sticks with people when it comes to how they perhaps see Mangle and the animatronic's potential sexiness, playfulness, and possibly feminine side. Number 8, Funtime Foxy. Funtime Foxy is just one of the cutest versions of Foxies that I think we have. I personally agree with this one being on the list, obviously. For me, I really love the coloring of this animatronic, and actually also the coloring of all the Funtime animatronics. Funtime Foxy is also an interesting animatronic in the sense that there is much debate surrounding the gender of Funtime Foxy. Some believe due to the makeup and coloring that Funtime Foxy is female, while others feel that Funtime Foxy due to their bow tie and masculine voice must be male. In Ultimate Custom Night, the animatronic was given male pronouns. For me, I think perhaps Funtime Foxy is kind of like neither and falls somewhere in between those two gender labels. Perhaps Funtime Foxy is a little bit more gender fluid than most animatronics. I've seen people reimagine Foxy as more feminine though, and it's a thing to behold, with fan art imagining a much more curvy version of this animatronic. Number 7, Lefty. I don't know what exactly it is about Lefty, but I just find him kind of handsome. Is that weird? I guess it's kind of weird. Lefty isn't maybe an animatronic that people immediately think about when they they think hot, but I do. I think he stands out for me when it comes to good looking animatronics for some reason. I will say I've also seen people transform Lefty and reimagine him as a female, and even that has been pretty spiffy, I gotta say. Something I would love to see is Lefty get an eye patch like Foxy. I feel like he could really rock it. I feel like he'd look quite sporting and quite spiffy with an eye patch. There's also some weird imagery when it comes to Lefty's potential sexiness, with him being highlighted as a deadly sexy character, kind of like a more sinister version of Freddy, like a sexy villain if you will. Although technically in a way all the animatronics I guess are kind of villains for the most part, or at least antagonists, as many of them do try to, you know, kill you in game. Finding any of them, you know, hot is kind of weird, I guess. Number 6, Funtime Chica. I feel like the Funtime animatronics just in general really have just something going on with them. Maybe it's because they have the word Funtime in their names. Is there anything hotter than someone who advertises their love for having a fun time? Personally, I am here for people who just want to have fun. When it comes to Chica, there is also her coloring here to consider, and of course, the fact that it's Chica, but just in a fun time form. We always love Chica, don't we? We are big stands for Chica. Even with Rockstar Chica getting some love on this list, which I think truly speaks for how people are in love with this character. Because to me, Rockstar Chica, I don't know, not as hot. Funtime Chica, more hot though.
Number 5, The Curse. The Curse is part of the current event in the Special Delivery AR, the Ancient Equinox event, which began on March 5th, 2021. At least I think it's still going on. Not sure if it is. The Curse is basically Springtrap, but reimagined as an ancient Aztec warrior. Oh, Special Delivery, what weird and magical skins you give us. This is the first animatronic skin from Special Delivery to not have the original name of the animatronic referred to in its title. Instead of being Cursed Springtrap, he is just The Curse. The Curse is dressed up in bejeweled golden armor and a green leaf skirt, and also carries around a cracked shield held by an arm that is made entirely of feathers. I cannot deny, although this one feels kind of like weird to me, I love this design. I think it looks so cool. Strange, but awesome. Number 4, Dee Dee. Dee Dee originally appeared in FNAF World and was one of the first animatronics from that game to show up in the main continuity of FNAF games in Ultimate Custom Night. She resembles Balloon Boy in her appearance and has a sweet and youthful sing-song voice. When you add her to Custom Night, she will summon a random animatronic to join your game at a difficulty somewhere between 1 and 10. Dee Dee has that same deceptively overly cheerful look that some other animatronics have, which is a big part of what makes her so weird and so creepy. People look like too happy, like it's like plastered on. That's creepy to me. I don't like that. Number 3, Heartsick Baby. The hits just keep on coming from Special Delivery AR. Heartsick Baby was made to be a Valentine's Day variant of the animatronic. This skin for Baby, though, is less sweet and romantic, more disturbing and creepy. I'm not sure what would honestly be weirder, a truly adorable Valentine's version of this animatronic, or the creepy one that we got. Both seem pretty weird in my mind, to be honest. Heartsick Baby was given a dark pink, gray, and black color motif as opposed to her usual one, and had hearts added on her kneecaps, chest, and her cheeks. But don't let those hearts fool you. She also appeared as an alternate to Cupid, but slightly tarnished in appearance, and with wings whose feathers even seem frayed or cracked near their tips. She also comes armed with a bow and arrow, and instead of pins, has a couple of arrows sticking out of her shins. So I guess Heartsick Baby doesn't have great aim. All around, this is a pretty disturbing alternate version of Circus Baby. Happy Valentine's, I guess? Heartsick Baby was added as a special animatronic holiday skin on February 4th, 2021. Valentine's Day animatronics. Number 2, Liberty Chica. One of the strangest ones of all when it comes to Special Delivery AR skins, in my opinion, is Liberty Chica. Not only is this strange just to look at, but it's also kind of horrifying. Without the animatronic getting angry or pursuing me, I still find it scary. Just to look at it is really weird and also really disturbing in my personal opinion. Liberty Chica was one of the skins that appeared as part of the July 4th celebration in Special Delivery. This design was evidently based on the U.S. National Monument, the Statue of Liberty, which is located in NYC, and was given to the U.S. actually as a gift from France to celebrate their liberty, freedom, and independence from the British. Fun fact, America initially didn't even want that statue, and then when they did accept it, didn't want to pay to create the base needed for it to rest on. This is a true story. Liberty Chica also comes with their own version of Mr. Cupcake, reskinned as the stoic-looking Torch Cupcake. Number 1, Egg Baby. I mean, I think we all agree that Egg Baby is one of the weirdest animatronics out there, no? Even Scott seems to have acknowledged how weird this creation is, trolling us with its potential appearance in UCN, which of course didn't actually end up happening. Egg Baby is just a strange prop animatronic that you can acquire in Pizzeria Simulator for a whopping $6,000. Why is it so expensive? What does Egg Baby actually do or add to your pizzeria? I think just a whole lot of awesome weirdness personally, which honestly, it having a $6,000 price tag just, I don't know, it just makes it somehow better. It makes it more weird, but also more great that it's so expensive. I need that Egg Baby. I need that Egg Baby in my restaurant.